Welcome to the Full Court Entertainment Podcast, and this is another reaction to the New York Knicks advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. They defeated the Boston Celtics in a butt whooping 119-81. But it's really not a lot of things to talk about this game. The game was really over after the second quarter. I think the Celtics were up, not the Celtics, the Knicks were up by like close to 20 something points. They were basically got the job done. We all know in game 5 they were up 3-1 and they basically just kind of forfeited that game. They got blown out and Jaylen Brown and Derek White went crazy that game. So they decided to like, hey, let's come back to New York City in Madison Square Garden and beat the Celtics and celebrate on our home floor. And that's basically exactly what they did. Let's just start with the Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks, you had Jalen Brunson, the best player, with 23 points. Cat had a decent game with 21 and 12. OG had a bounce back game with 23 points. And Mikal Bridges has 22 points. Your core four guys, and Josh Hart, can't forget about Josh Hart. Josh Hart had a triple-double, 10, 11, 11. But really your core four guys, they basically got the job done. They basically beat them up. They basically beat them on everything. Shot more three-pointers, hit 16 three-pointers, shot 46% from the field, out-rebounded them 55-36. Jesus Christ. Had more assists than them. Like, this is what the Knicks have done. And you got to give the Knicks credit. And I said it all along. Like, the Knicks are a really good team, but I definitely kind of underestimated them, especially that they really in the regular season, they couldn't beat no good team over like one of like the top teams. That was the Celtics, the Cavs, the Thunder. They couldn't beat like none of those teams. And so far, they just beat the reigning champions. Yes, you could say Jason Tatum injury played a part, but at the end of the day, they came back from 220-point leads, 220-point scores in game 1 and 2, came back, won those. And in game 4, even though Jason Tatum got hurt late, they were still up by 9 when he got hurt. And they still won that game. So you got to give the Knicks credit. This Knicks team is good. And this is probably, since I've started watching basketball really paying attention to it, this is the best Knicks team I've ever seen in my lifetime. And that's the truth. This is the best Knicks team I've ever seen in my lifetime. Even all them years with like Wilson Chandler, Gallinari, like all those teams were okay, but they weren't good. Like those teams really weren't good. Even the Melo Knicks when it was Melo, Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler, you had Raymond Felton, you had those J.R. Smith, you had those Andy Mon Shumpert, you had those Knicks teams. Those Knicks teams were good, but they fell short. Lost to the Miami Heat, lost to the Indiana Pacers, and they fell short. But this Knicks team is really good. Like with Jalen Brunson, Cat, Mikal, OG, you know, this team is really good. And you got to give Leon Rose some credit. He took a big risk. He traded for OG Anunoby last year because, you know, he needed that big wing 3-and-D type defender. And that wasn't enough. He goes out and trade 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges. At first, that didn't look good, but he did make the trade, and Mikal Bridges in the playoffs has played really good. Then he takes a real big risk trading technically your second best player in Julius Randle for Karl-Anthony Towns, and Karl-Anthony Towns most likely will be an All-NBA player. He took a risk on that, and it has paid off. Karl-Anthony Towns has been really good this year. His cat has been great, and you make the risk, and Leon Rose has done that. And this team is going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time to potentially face the Indiana Pacers. And I'll get into a little bit more of that later. But the Knicks deserve some credit, bro. The Knicks deserve some credit. Was in a battle with a young Detroit Pistons team, and I think that's why a lot of people, including me, had their doubts about beating the Celtics. Like, you guys are the better team, the more experienced team, and you guys are struggling with a Pistons team. You eventually won, but then y'all basically down in every game. Game 6 was the first time they really won down by double digits. and they won the game. So, the Knicks, really good team. Glad they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. When the Knicks are good, it's great for the NBA. And I know New Yorkers, they're going crazy, man, because a lot of them probably ain't seen this in a very long time. But congratulations to the Knicks. Now to the Celtics side, I didn't expect a butt whooping, but I expected a fight. I did expect you guys to go down swinging, at least lose by like 10. At one point, they was up by like 40 points. And that's embarrassing. Like, Al Horford was basically the second best player. He had 10 points. Luke Cornett did nothing after having an amazing game in game 5. Drew Holiday has been really bad. He has regressed this year. Drew Holiday has regressed. And it's kind of sad. Like he was a good player. He was actually good last year for the Celtics when they won a championship. But he has regressed. Derek White didn't have a good game. He was 3 for left for 8 points. Jaylen Brown was the only person that somewhat showed up to play, but he really wasn't good. He only had 20 points, 8 for 20, and he fouled out. I'm not saying nobody gave up. Not saying that at all. But it looked like Jay just was like, "Hey, look, we getting our butts whooped. Let's just forget about it." And no one came to play for the Celtics. And I said it last time on the pod. I said it's gonna look a little nasty. Like, it's really gonna look a little nasty for the Celtics probably next year. You do have to think about do you keep this core while Jason Tatum is out? And another real quick, and another thing, I don't want to hear nobody tell me that like this team is better without Jason Tatum. This team, they played better against this team without, like, stop being stupid. Like, we're not doing that. Jason Tatum, no matter what you think of the man, you can hate, you can do all that, that's fine. If you think Jaylen Brown the better player, cool, whatever. Jason Tatum is one of the best players on this team, and without him, we just saw what happened. They're gonna lose, and this probably won't go far in a playoff run without him. They need him. He does everything for that team. Score, playmaking, shoot. He does a lot. Rebounding. Like, you need that from him. He does all that, and you're gonna miss that for basically a year and probably a year and a half. So, but for the Celtics, you might have to think about trading Porzingis. I said that last time. Might have to think about trading Porzingis. Drew Holiday is on a contract extension. Let's see if a team pays trades for him. He's still reliable 2-way player. Can still give you offense. Still, I think is still a good defender. He did make Jalen Brunson work a couple of times in this series, so I think he's still that. Al Horford, he's older. You might want to resign him for veteran purposes, but he's not really going to give you a lot every once in a while. Jaylen Brown, Derek White look like the only guys that stay, but even that, like, what is the rest of this roster going to look like? And if it is those two your best players, and if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm looking like this might be the throwaway year. This next year, 2020, 2025, 2026 might be the throwaway year. And it's okay. It happens. Like, an unfortunate situation happened with the Boston Celtics, and they lost their best player. But in this specific game, they just didn't come to play. And I was like, if they did have a chance of probably winning this game somehow, they could possibly have gone in Game 7 at their home in Boston and win. But we'll never know. But the Knicks took care of business, and they got the job done. Now, on the Knicks side, going against the Pacers, I don't think a lot of people thought in the beginning of the year that we will see a Pacers-Knicks finals. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a very, very good series. I think people are sleeping on the series because it's the Indiana Pacers, and it's like, oh wow, it's the Indiana Pacers. That's boring. Like, I feel like you just don't watch basketball or haven't paid attention to them enough. They're a really good, fast-paced team. Defense has been really good of late. Like, they got a lot of good players. Everybody can score on that team. They could go basically 9 deep on that team. And it's gonna be a battle for the Knicks, who only go like what, 7 deep. They really only go 7 deep players, so that might warn them out. But the Knicks do have the best player in this series. Is probably Tyrese Halliburton. Not Tyrese Halliburton. My bad. They have Jalen Brunson, who is probably going to be the best player in this series. And the Pacers, you got Tyrese, who in my opinion is a superstar, but he has a lot of other good players on his team. And let's see if the Knicks can go with this fast-paced offense with them. Like, it's gonna be a battle, and I feel like Karl Anthony Towns is the key because this series he really wasn't shooting the three that well. And I think next series he might actually get his 3-point shooting back. He just wasn't good. But just seeing a Pacers Knicks series and that one of those two could potentially be in the NBA Finals and have a chance of winning their first ring is actually kind of crazy to me. I don't think nobody expected this, but I've been saying it for the past couple of days. I got Pacers. I think the Pacers could possibly pull this series out against the New York Knicks. Yes, they did it last year, but this time they didn't have Cat, they didn't have Mikal Bridges, but they did go to the conference finals against the Celtics. Lost, but they did beat the Knicks. So I do think the Pacers probably win this series. Honestly, I just like Tyrese Halliburton. I like the up tempo offense, fast paced offense. I love that for the Pacers. And they probably just have the overall better team if you think about it. But the Knicks are just so top heavy that it might be too much for the Indiana Pacers. It might be too much. Like, if you think about it in this series, the Knicks probably got maybe two of the top five best players in the series, maybe three. So it really just depends. But congratulations to the Knicks. The Knicks won. The Knicks going to the conference finals, and it's good for basketball. It's good for basketball that one of these large markets, big market teams in NBA are going far in the playoffs, and you like to see it, man. You like to see it, but congratulations to them. In Boston, they have stuff to think about while Jason Tatum is out. They have stuff to think about, but that's it for the Full Court Entertainment podcast. This reaction to the New York Knicks defeating the Boston Celtics in 6 games, 119-81, and going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'll see you guys on the next reaction. See y'all next time.